Hello, this is Dennis Waitley. I'm excited to share a few minutes with you describing the life-changing opportunity in store for you as you listen to, internalize, and apply the principles of this outstanding program to your own personal and professional pursuits. In my career studying top Fortune 500 executives, Super Bowl and Olympic champions, astronauts and families, I've discovered that the real winners in the game of life make it happen for others and themselves, while the losers let it happen to themselves and seem to be along for the ride, which they hope will be a joyride and a free ride on a smooth downhill highway. But winners view life as an uphill toll road with peaks and valleys, which is always under construction. Winners know that success is a process, not a status. The great myth in our media-hungry society is that success means making the most headlines, making the most money, and making the most waves in the eyes of friends, neighbors, and the general public. But the truth is, instead of making the headlines, the authentic, consistent winners in life today concentrate on making a difference in the quality of everyone's life by learning the most, doing the most, giving the most, caring the most, and sharing the most every day in everything they experience. This program, created and narrated by my respected colleague and friend, Sheila Bethel, shatters the myths and replaces them with breakthrough ideas combined with timeless wisdom to give you an action guide to leadership that balances you can do it encouragement with down-to-earth examples. This powerful work is the right message at a pivotal point in history where the walls and boundaries between nations and states are crumbling as individuals in developing regions of the world seek self-determination and a better way of life. The me generation, so pervasive in the past, is being replaced by the we generation, and the real leaders in the present and future global neighborhoods will more often be the champions of cooperation rather than the champions of competition. Independence has been replaced by interdependence, and the survival of the fittest philosophy, based upon authoritarian rule, is rapidly becoming obsolete and is giving way to the survival of the wisest philosophy of understanding, participation, strategic alliances, and reason, with a leadership style that empowers others and sets them free to become all they can be according to their own unique talents and efforts. No one is better qualified to lead us into this new transformation of leadership than Sheila Bethel. I personally have tracked her incredible career as she has grown from top sales and marketing executive to becoming one of the most sought-after management consultants, keynote speakers, and seminar resources in America. From best-selling author of nonfiction books and audiovisual programs on personal and business development to her current position as an internationally recognized authority on professional peak performance and high-level individual and organizational achievement. I've watched, I've read, I've listened to, and learned from this remarkable Renaissance woman. From the Houses of Congress and Parliament to public rallies in the Opera House in Sydney, Australia, from the boardrooms of some of the biggest and best multinational corporations to the locker rooms and classrooms of schools and colleges all over the world. Dr. Ken Blanchard, co-author of The 1-Minute Manager, calls her work extraordinary. One of my personal mentors, W. Clement Stone, the ageless self-made multimillionaire and colleague of Napoleon Hill, whom many credit as the pioneer of positive mental attitude awareness, says that America needs to take her message to heart and act upon it now as we prepare for unprecedented change and challenge in the dawning of a new century. In a society of fallen heroes and idols with feet of clay, we are left with empty pedestals, searching for honest role models to show us the right way to lead our lives. Listen to the profound yet simple truths. Each time you listen, you'll experience new and deeper insights and an abundance of practical nuts and bolts skills to apply day in and day out for the rest of your life. But listen openly and carefully, and write down the key ideas and concepts, and then re-listen to her as she describes with laser accuracy the essential qualities of leadership. Her message is upbeat and optimistic, and yet it's anchored and rock solid in reality and proven research. Take my word for it, the more you listen, the more positive, lasting life changes you'll experience. Sheila Murray Bethel has made a difference in my life and in thousands of others with her wisdom, her creativity, her integrity, and her own refreshing communication ability. And now, she's ready to begin making a difference in you.
Thank you, Dennis. Hello, this is Sheila Murray Bethel. I'm glad to be with you. Thank you for taking time to listen and for wanting to be a more effective leader. Your curiosity and interest about leadership, your desire to build and develop your leadership skills and talents, and your courage and commitment to be what Dennis Waitley described as a winner who makes it happen is vital to everyone with whom you come in contact. There is a myth about leadership that we need to dispel. It is that leadership is something that is meant for only a few highly placed individuals. While there have been those throughout history that we can all look to for inspiration and example, it is the grassroots leaders that have always made the difference. Everyday people leading every day in their jobs, their community, and in their homes. People like you. The qualities of leadership are basic common sense ideas and attitudes that individually and collectively can make you a more dynamic leader. Some of these qualities are how-to skills and aptitudes. Others involve philosophies and attitudes. There is a powerful leader shift taking place in the world today. The old hierarchical model is shifting to one of partnership, empowerment, and cooperation to make things happen. You are an important part of that leader shift. Being a leader is not something you learn once and for all. It is an ever-evolving pattern of skills, talents, and ideas that grow and change as you do. Many of the stories that help make a point are much more interesting, entertaining, and informative when you can listen to them as part of an actual presentation. So let's begin the process of enhancing, building, and implementing the elements of 21st century leadership by joining a seminar I conducted for a group of over 400 business and community leaders.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor and privilege to introduce today's featured speaker. She is the author of the best-selling book, Making a Difference, 12 Qualities That Make You a Leader, and host of the exciting new public television special, Making a Difference. And she is a member of the Board of Advisors of General Colin Powell's America's Promise, the Alliance for Youth. She is an internationally acknowledged lecturer specializing in leadership, change, and personal excellence. She has spoken to over 1 million people in 17 nations and has received the Speaker Hall of Fame Award. She also has a PhD in communications. It is my great pleasure to welcome Dr. Sheila Murray Bethel.
Good afternoon. I'm delighted to be with you. They're going to turn the house lights up so I can see you, and I know you can see me. I'm glad to see so many people on a beautiful afternoon. Thank you for coming. And you're still wide awake and ready to go. You obviously don't have the problem that the mother had when she went in to wake up her daughter to go to school. She says, "Come on, sweetheart, time to get up and go to school." The daughter says, "But I don't want to go." And the mother says, "Get up, you're going to be late." And the daughter says, "Give me 2 reasons why." And the mother said, "For heaven's sakes, you're 46 years old and you're the principal." So in our short time that we have together today, I'd like to share with you some ideas that I have learned around the world, working with leaders in all walks of life, things I've experienced in my own life, trying to lead organizations. And there are some principles, some ideas to share. Today, in the world in which we live, when we look at leadership, you know, we lead at home, we lead in the community, we lead at work. Leadership is not just for the highest educated, the people with the highest title, the richest or the most famous. It is for everyone. Everyone can make a difference through their leadership. And that's the good news about it. It's a very exciting thing to do, to say, by gosh, I'm going to pick up the mantle of leadership and give it a try. I'd like to give you the 3 drivers, the leadership drivers for the 21st century that I have seen as I travel around the world. And if you happen to be note takers and have a piece of paper and want to take some notes, let me give you some ideas to take back and to share with those who are not here. Driver number 1, of course, we all know it. We live with it every single day. Driver number 1 is called change. We live in an era of incredible change, unprecedented change. We have never, ever, as a society and as a world, gone through so much change as those of us that are here today have recently. You know, if you think about it, you and I together, we have gone through more change in this last year than our parents did in 10 years. What an incredible time to be alive. How many know and feel that you've gone through business change in the last year? Raise your hand. Silly question, isn't it? How about 6 months? 2 months? 2 weeks? 20 minutes? Have you called? Is the office still there? Change, we live with it every day. We know there's change in business. But there's also been change in our personal lives. You know, we had a national census here in the United States recently, and I saw a little clipping in the newspaper that talked about it. It said, in the most recent national census, it counted 1 million more women than men who are separated from their spouses. And it went on to say, well, that's either a mistake or there are about 1 million men who haven't yet noticed that their wives have left. I don't want to touch that. I don't know what that means about the men or the women. I just know that we have gone through so much change. I do want to give you a good piece of news about change, though, because I know it might be appropriate for a good news statement. You know what? The world is changing so fast, ladies and gentlemen, you can't even stay wrong for too long anymore. Just hang in, you'll probably be right next month. It is changing that fast. Driver number 1, it is pushing us, it is pulling us. Change every time we turn around. No wonder we sometimes feel a little overwhelmed by it. It's okay. We're all in the same boat. Change is a hard thing to handle, but it is the number 1 driver, and the leader leading at home, in the community, at work, has to understand how hard it is for people to change. Be a little patient, a little kind, cut people a little slack. And as the teenagers say, chill out. Relax a little more. Driver number 2, it is called the ability to build partnerships, networks, and alliances. That is the thing that will make you individually and collectively successful in this 21st century. Why? Because there's not enough time anymore to learn everything we have to know on our own. We have to be able to call somebody across the office, across town, across the city, across the state, across the country, around the world, and say, hey, I've got this issue. Can you give me a hand? Can you help? We want to network, and we want to build those powerful alliances. 3rd driver, change is 1st. Networking, partnership, and alliances is 2. And 3 is understanding the difference between customer service and customer focus. And I'm going to talk more about that as I go on. But those are the 3 drivers, and that's what a leader has to be aware of. Watch the trends. Watch what happens. Keep your antenna out. Keep your ears open. Keep a pad and pencil near you at all times so you can stay on top of it and capture those ideas that help you be a more effective leader. And when it comes to leadership, the main word to start with today is the word called commitment. Commitment's the key. It helps us in the tough times. It makes it easier in the good times. Commitment is the glue that holds it all together. It's the fire in the belly. To be a leader who makes a difference, commitment is what it takes. You know the old story about the chicken and the pig walking down the country road early in the morning, time to have something to eat. And they pass an old-fashioned eatery, and the sign says breakfast, bacon and eggs, $1.79. And the chicken gets all puffed up and says, well, would you look at that? What would breakfast be without my contribution? The pig said, it's okay for you, it's a contribution. For me, it's total commitment. I do believe that in this age, our commitment makes the difference.